Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into a classic, but maybe not in the way you might expect.
Hmm.
We've taken a really deep look at excerpts from Herman Melville's Moby Dick, and it's such a rich collection of sources. Goes way beyond just a tale of a white whale hunt.
Oh, absolutely. It's this vast, profound ocean of ideas.
Yeah.
A true leviathan of literature.
Right.
And our mission today is really just that, to kind of distill the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight from this incredible material.
Okay.
We'll sort of embark on a journey starting with that initial, almost primal allure of the sea that draws our protagonist, Ishmael, away from, well, the dry confines of land.
Yeah.
From there, we'll get into the fascinating and honestly unexpectedly diverse characters Ishmael meets. They form this literal microcosm of humanity aboard a whaling ship.
A real melting pot on the ocean.
Exactly. Then we'll confront the consuming and destructive nature of obsession, personified by Captain Ahab.
The formidable.
Truly. His will is just like unyielding as iron. And finally, we'll grapple with the profound, maybe even terrifying, symbolism hidden in the whiteness of the whale, Moby Dick himself.
Whiteness.
Yeah, that's a big one. It is. Ultimately, what you'll find here is a deep exploration into human nature, the elusive concept of fate versus free will, and the very essence of existence, really, all viewed through the gritty, perilous, and often brutal lens of 19th century whaling.
So get ready to discover some surprising facts, maybe unexpected connections, and definitely philosophical insights that will make you feel truly well-informed about one of literature's greatest and maybe most frequently misunderstood achievements.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
This deep dive is custom-tailored for you, whether you're revisiting a classic you read years ago or maybe encountering this monumental work for the very first time. We promise, by the end of this, you'll have a new appreciation for the depths Melville plumbed.
Definitely.
So we begin, of course, with that iconic, almost conversational opening line. Call me Ishmael.
Can't start anywhere else, really.
Right. It's one of the most famous introductions in all of literature. It immediately draws you in, sets this tone of both intimacy and, I don't know, a certain enigma. But what exactly is it that compels a man like Ishmael, a seemingly ordinary individual, to abandon the comfort, the predictability of land for the vast, unpredictable, and often merciless ocean?
Yeah, that's the core question, isn't it?
It's clearly far more than just like a simple longing for adventure or escaping something. His motivation runs much deeper, almost like an existential or even physiological need.
He really articulates this profound inner turmoil, doesn't he? This pervasive existential malaise. He calls it a damp, drizzly November in my soul.
Such a vivid metaphor.
It really is.
Yeah.
For a deep-seated gloom, a melancholic stagnancy that drives him to seek a drastic change, a profound antidote to the familiar confines of land.
He explicitly states his desire to drive off the spleen.
Which is such an archaic term.
Right. But it refers not just to melancholy, but also to physical stagnation, like an excess of black bile in the old humoral theory causing depression.
Exactly. And he also aims to regulate the circulation, suggesting this fundamental imbalance, a physical and spiritual lethargy that he believes only the sheer immensity and dynamic energy of the ocean can fix.
His descriptions are stark, too, even morbid, like pausing involuntarily before coffin warehouses.
Oh, yeah. That hints at a morbid contemplation of mortality, doesn't it? An inward decay that the sea offers this vital, almost desperate contrast to.
It's like a yearning for raw, vital experience to combat an encroaching spiritual death.
Precisely. And what's truly fascinating here and quite profound is Ishmael's very deliberate and almost paradoxical choice in how he goes to sea.
Right, not as a tourist?
Not at all.
Well,
He doesn't go as a commodore, a captain, or even a pampered passenger, which he dismisses, right?
Yeah.
Says they get seasick, quarrel, don't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Instead, he explicitly chooses to go as a simple sailor, right before the mast, plumb down to the forecastle.
The hardest way, basically.
Pretty much. And this isn't just about practicality or money. It's a conscious embrace of hardship, of the raw, unvarnished, often brutal experience of common seafaring life. He specifically highlights the wholesome exercise in pure air found in the forecastle, contrasting it with the perceived secondhand atmosphere breathed by commodores on the quarterdeck.
Interesting perspective.
And he muses that the commonality lead their leaders in many subtle ways, even if the leaders are, blissfully unaware. This choice, he reflects, is more than just personal preference. It's almost a surrender to fate. as if the fates themselves cunningly and somewhat mischievously put him down for this shabby part of a whaling voyage, despite his initial delusion that it was purely his own unbiased free will and judgment.
Wow, that's a profound philosophical thought right there at the beginning.
Isn't it? It subtly undermines the whole idea of absolute self-determination, suggests a deeper, unseen, almost capricious hand at play, orchestrating even our most seemingly independent decisions.
It really makes you wonder, yeah, how much of our own journey is truly our choice and how much is just the fates putting us down for a shabby part.
Exactly.
That initial choice by Ishmael, this surrender to a predetermined path, even as he thinks he's exercising free will, it truly sets the stage for this unique exploration of freedom and destiny throughout the book.
It absolutely does.
It immediately raises those big questions about agency versus fate, maybe even driven by our own internal November in the soul.
Well put.
So Ishmael, driven by this inner compulsion, this weird mix of free will and destiny, makes his first stop in New Bedford.
Right. The whaling capital.
And this isn't just any port city. It's a place literally and figuratively built on the back of the booming 19th century whaling industry. Melville paints such a vivid, almost surreal picture.
He really does.
Noting that its brave houses and flowery gardens came from the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. He means that quite literally, right?
Yeah, he suggests these grand homes, the opulent furnishings, the lush estates. They weren't just made from local stuff. No, they were harpooned and dragged up hither from the bottom of the sea.
Incredible imagery.
It really is. It conveys how the immense wealth from whale oil, often gotten through perilous, bloody means, permeated every single aspect of the town, from architecture to its very essence.
A place where the bounty of the deep, ripped violently from the ocean, becomes land-based splendor.
A testament to the colossal enterprise of whaling. And it's within this town, saturated with whaling, that Ishmael seeks lodging at the forebodingly named Spouter Inn.
Owned by Peter Coffin, seriously.
Right, the name alone, Coffin. It immediately sets this macabre yet intriguing tone.
Definitely.
The inn itself is described as quirky, ship-like inside, immersing Ishmael and us immediately in that maritime world. The bar especially.
What about the bar?
It's described as a rude attempt at a right whale's head, with the vast arched bone of the whale's jaw forming the entrance.
You walk through the jawbone of a whale to get a drink? Wow.
Yeah. This grotesque yet captivating decor powerfully reinforces that deep, unsettling connection between the town's prosperity and the death it inflicts on the whales.
And inside these jaws of swift destruction, the barkeeper.
Likened to another cursed Jonah.
Swallowed by a whale, yeah.
Right. He bustles about selling sailors' deliriums and death, and the glasses he uses.
What's wrong with the glasses?
They're abominable. Deceptively tapered downward, these villainous green goggling glasses that cheat the patrons. A visual metaphor for the illusory pleasures and dangers of this whole world.
It's a place where life and death, reality and illusion, they're all just blurred together.
Constantly blurred. And it's here, in this strangely ominous but compelling inn, that Ishmael has his first truly transformative encounter.
Not with a whale, though.
No, with Queequeg, the dark-complexioned harpooner who becomes his closest companion.
But Ishmael's initial reaction is not good.
Not at all. Stemming from his own cultural conditioning, his prejudices, it's one of profound, almost paralyzing fear. He's genuinely startled by Queequeg's unearthly complexion.
He struggles to describe it, right? Like purplish yellow.
Yeah, a mix of awe and discomfort. Then the checkered tattoos covering his entire body, making him look like he's been in a 30 years war and just escaped with a sticking plaster shirt.
Vivid and unsettling image.
Totally. And then Queequeg pulls out a tomahawk and a sealskin wallet while undressing.
Okay, yeah, I'd be nervous too.
Ishmael admits contemplating slipping out the window. Says he was as much afraid of him as if it was the devil himself. But then he reflects.
What does he reflect?
Ignorance is the parent of fear. A stark confrontation with his own preconceived notions.
And this specific moment is like a huge turning point for Ishmael, and really for the whole story.
Absolutely crucial. Despite his overwhelming initial fear, his revulsion, Ishmael has this profound, almost instant realization that just cuts through his cultural biases.
What does he think?
He thinks to himself with remarkable clarity, the man's a human being just as I am. He has just as much reason to fear me as I have to be afraid of him. Better sleep with a sober cannibal than a drunken Christian.
Wow. That's revolutionary for him.
Yeah, it shatters everything. Allows him to see Queequeg's humanity beyond the appearance, the tattoos, the tomahawk.
And their bond forms almost immediately after that.
Almost miraculously forged. They share that tomahawk pipe.
Right, the symbolic pipe.
It becomes more than just smoking. It's a vessel for their friendship, a literal passing of understanding between cultures. Later, they find comfort leaning together in bed, knees drawn up, simple warmth. And this shared warmth leads Ishmael to that beautiful philosophical reflection. There is no quality in this world that is not what it is merely by contrast. Nothing exists in itself.
So comfort only exists because of discomfort.
Exactly. If you're always comfortable, you stop feeling comfortable. It's the contrast with the cold, the prior fear, that makes the warmth companionship delightful.
That elevates their physical closeness into something much deeper about human experience, perception.
The relational nature of everything. Our understanding is shaped by contrast.
This forging of an unlikely friendship across such huge cultural divides between a melancholic New Englander and a savage from who knows where, it sets such a powerful human theme for the whole deep dive.
Connection, acceptance, shared humanity in the face of the unknown.
Challenging prejudices, finding common ground where you least expect it. Yeah. So with Queequeg now as his chosen companion, this bond formed out of genuine affection, not just need, Ishmael finally boards the Pequod.
And this ship, it's not just wood and sails.
No way. It's a character in itself, imbued with its own history, a stark, almost predatory personality. Melville calls it ancient, venerable.
Its old hull's complexion was darkened like a French grenadier's
Right.
who has alike fought in Egypt and Siberia.
You can just feel the weight of voyages, the sea salt, the whale blood, the toil etched into it.
A ship that's seen everything carries its past like a battle-hardened soldier, and its decorations,
Stark reminders of its purpose, right? Almost brutal.
overtly described as a cannibal of a craft, tricking herself forth in the chaste bones of her enemies.
Wow, cannibal of a craft.
Yeah. Think about it. Sperm whale teeth, used for the pins holding the rigging strength and grim trophy. And the massive lower jaw of a whale forms the tiller that steers the ship.
So the ship itself is made from the remnants of its prey.
Exactly, underscoring the violent, all-consuming, almost symbiotic nature of whaling. The hunter literally incorporates the hunted into its being.
And the Pequod's unique structure, its grim look, it mirrors the distinct hierarchy on whaling ships, right? Different from other vessels.
Absolutely. What's particularly noteworthy is the harpooner class of officers, the Specksinders.
Sexcinders.
Yeah, a class unknown in other marine fleets. In traditional navies, officer versus common man is clear-cut. Officers aft, crew forward.
Right.
But in whale ships, the harpooneers, technically before the mastmen elsewhere, are lodged aft, dining at the cabin table like the captain and mates.
Because they're so crucial to the hunt.
Indispensable. Their skill with the harpoon was paramount to success, to profit. So, as Melville puts it, the grand political maxim of the sea demands they be nominally set apart as professional superiors, even while being social equals to the sailors they often rose from.
A blurring of lines. Dual status. Skilled laborer and elevated officer.
Highlighting the unique, almost meritocratic yet still hierarchical structure of a whaling voyage. Practical skills sometimes trump traditional social distinctions.
And within this unique hierarchy on the Pequod, we meet the three key harpooneers and their mates, each representing a different corner of the world, a unique personality.
First, our friend Queequeg from the mapless island of Rokovoko.
Chosen by Starbuck, the chief mate.
Right. Starbuck himself is the long, earnest man, a Nantucket Quaker, pragmatic, stoic, pious, thin but powerfully described as the condensation of the man.
Meaning his spareness is distilled strength, resolution, democratic dignity. He's often the voice of reason.
Though ultimately unable to sway Ahab.
Yeah. Then there's Tashtego.
Described as an unmixed Indian from Gay Head, a red man from Martha's Vineyard. Gay Head, now Aquina, was famous for its skilled harpooneers.
And Tashtego embodies that heritage. He's partnered with Stubb.
Stubb, the happy-go-lucky second mate, a Cape Cod man with his peculiar philosophical detachment.
Always smoking.
Right, constantly. Finding comfort in exhaling nameless miseries with each puff, like breathing out the world's woes, turning them into smoke.
A unique way of coping with the danger.
Kind of cheerful fatalism, maybe.
And rounding out the trio is Dagu.
A gigantic, coal-black Negro savage, imposing presence, wears two golden hoops in his ears, so large the sailors call them ring bolts.
Paired with Flask, the third mate,
Yeah.
nicknamed Little King Post.
Yeah, small stature but brimming with large and tall ambition. Stands on the loggerhead in the whaleboat like a figurehead himself, full of fierce determination. embodies the sheer force needed for the chase.
So this incredibly diverse crew, Melville has a term for them.
He does. The concept of isolados. Nearly all of them, he says, were islanders from various far-flung parts of the world, a true Anacharsis Klutz deputation from all the isles of the sea and all the ends of the earth.
Wow.
They're vividly described as not acknowledging the common continent of men, but each isolate living on a separate continent of his own.
Highlighting their distinct origins, cultures, maybe inner worlds.
Exactly. Yet, paradoxically, despite this isolation, they are federated along one keel, forming this vibrant, volatile, interdependent microcosm of humanity.
United or bound in this common perilous venture, hunting the whale.
This tension between individual isolation and collective destiny powerfully highlights the universal human experience amidst diversity, forcing individuals, despite their separate origins, into a shared collective fate.
Suggests that even in our deepest individualism, we're often bound by common purpose and shared peril.
Precisely.
As the Pequod finally sets sail, embarking on this perilous voyage, the captain, Ahab, makes his long-awaited, dramatic entrance.
He arrived last night, already shrouded in mystery and dark rumors.
From the outset, he's presented as utterly formidable, respected as a good whale hunter, one of the best.
But there's that profound, almost terrifying caveat. He's known for a profound delirium that seems to consume him.
And of course, the leg he lost to a whale. That specific detail.
Before Ishmael even really meets him, the character Elijah warns him about Old Thunder.
Right, hinting at Ahab's volatile, obsessive, dangerous nature, basically saying, are you sure you want to be on this ship?
Exactly. Think twice, maybe 3 times.
The defining moment that just solidifies Ahab's singular, all-consuming purpose, setting the tragic course, happens dramatically on the quarterdeck.
He doesn't just issue orders, he stages this dark, symbolic ritual.
Nails a gleaming Spanish gold doubloon to the mainmast.
And it's not just a reward, it's this tangible, almost sacred symbol of his obsessive quest. He offers it to the first man to spot a very specific whale.
A white-headed whale with a wrinkled brow and a crooked jaw that has 3 holes punctured in his starboard fluke.
Moby Dick. The specificity immediately reveals the deeply personal, monomaniacal, almost pathological nature of his hunt.
It's not just about profit or even general revenge against whales. It's this whale.
A personal vendetta against the creature that scarred him, physically and psychologically, the full focus of his existence.
And the depth of Ahab's hatred for Moby Dick is chilling. It's almost cosmic.
He doesn't just see a powerful animal. He perceives in Moby Dick outrageous strength, with an inscrutable malice sinewing it.
For Ahab, the whale is more than a beast. It's an embodiment of a malevolent, unknown, maybe supernatural force.
A metaphysical entity he has a score to settle with, a cosmic wrong to right.
He famously declares, with almost blasphemous defiance, I'd strike the sun if it insulted me.
Illustrating his rebellious, almost Promethean spirit, his refusal to submit to any higher authority, natural, human, or divine. He sees himself as beyond conventional morality or fate.
His path to his fixed purpose is laid with iron rails whereon my soul is grooved to run.
Such powerful imagery, a soul irrevocably fixed on a singular, unalterable track. Terrifying depth of his monomania.
No turning back, no deviation. He's his own prisoner on these rails.
And to bind his crew to this terrifying, almost sacrilegious quest, Ahab orchestrates this powerful, truly blasphemous ceremony.
The harpoon-socked grog ritual.
Right. He transforms the very tools of their trade into instruments of his dark will, fills the hollow sockets of the harpoon's weapons sharpened for killing with fiery water's potent liquor.
Then demands his mates drink from them, like some grotesque communion.
Exactly. Starbuck, stub, flask. It's not just leadership. It's this desperate, almost magical act, an attempt to transfer his own burning hatred, his fiery emotion, his fixed purpose into them.
Make them extensions of his will. Imbue them with his monomania.
Even the resolute, morally grounded Starbuck is overmanned by this madman, feeling compelled to obey, rebelling.
He recognizes the madness, feels the moral repugnance, yet he's bound.
Feels like he's towed by a cable I have no knife to cut.
Yeah.
Underscores Ahab's terrifying charisma, his almost supernatural hold, dragging them into his personal destructive vendetta.
Against their better judgment, even their survival instincts? Wow. Moby Dick, as we know, is far more than just a whale. He's the gliding great demon of the seas of life. Mythical proportions embodying this profound, malevolent force. But what truly makes him so profoundly terrifying isn't just his size or strength, it's his color. Why is his whiteness so unsettling? This is the central, powerful paradox.
It's truly fascinating and deeply unsettling, the inherent paradox of whiteness itself. Across cultures, throughout history, whiteness almost universally symbolized purity, divinity, joy, innocence, justice.
Right, that's the common association.
The sources give so many examples. Romans used a white stone for a joyful day, the innocence of brides, the benignity of old age, honor for Native Americans with a white belt of wampum.
Justice, like the judge's ermine.
Exactly. Royalty, with kings drawn by milk-white steeds. Divine right, purity.
And in religion, too.
Consistently. Divine spotlessness, sanctity, power. Persian fire worshippers saw the white flame as holiest. Great Jove incarnate in a snow-white bull. The Iroquois' sacred white dog sacrifice as their purest envoy to the Great Spirit.
Christian priests, white robes, the alb, St. John's vision of the redeemed in white.
All these myriad associations across vast cultural landscapes point overwhelmingly to whiteness as a beacon of good, purity, divine power, reverence.
Yet in Moby Dick, the same pure, positive hue evokes nameless terror.
Described as the supernaturalism of this hue, something beyond natural explanation that amplifies dread into something cosmic, unsettling.
And we see other examples of terrifying whiteness in the book, flipping the meaning.
We do. The white gliding ghostliness of the white shark wreck when linking it to death's stillness.
The spell of the white albatross, often a bad omen despite its majesty.
The trembling reverence and awe for the white steed of the prairie's divine yet unsettling power. Nature itself uses it in the white squall, a sudden devastating storm.
Even human malice adopts it. The desperate white hoods of Ghent committing murder masked in snowy white. Purity as a cloak for brutality.
And maybe most universally, the marble pallor of the dead. Directly linking whiteness to mortality, the cold absence of life, death, riding a pallid horse.
So this raises that profound question Melville forces on us. Why does a color so universally linked to good become the source of such deep primal dread with Moby Dick?
The buffalo robe analogy offers a remarkable deep insight into this paradox.
How does that work?
Imagine a strong young colt, born in a peaceful Vermont valley, miles from predators. On a sunny day, just shake a fresh buffalo robe behind him. You can't see it, just smells its wild muskiness.
Okay.
He will start, snort, and with bursting eyes, paw the ground in frenzies of affright. He has no memory, no experience of being gored.
So it's not learned fear?
No. It's described as an instinct of the knowledge of the demonism in the world. That primal musk instantly evokes the rending herds, even miles away.
So the terror of whiteness isn't about specific dangers.
It's about something more fundamental. A primal, unreasoning fear of the unknown. Of a horrifying absolute blankness, a void that paradoxically strips all meaning, color, comfort from existence. An ultimate, unnameable horror.
As Ishmael profoundly reflects, summarizing this cosmic dread, though in many of its aspects this visible world seems formed in love, the invisible spheres were formed in fright.
Whiteness in Moby Dick embodies that ultimate cosmic fright, the terror of what is vast, incomprehensible, and utterly indifferent.
Chilling. To further underscore the whale's immense power and, crucially, its malevolence, this idea of judicious malice, Ishmael recounts the town hose story.
Right, and he presents it as an affidavit, a sworn testimony.
Not just a tale, described as entirely independent of my own, giving it the sense of objective truth, greater credibility. Evidence for Moby Dick's conscious will.
And the central point it aims to establish is chilling. That the sperm whale is, in some cases, sufficiently powerful, knowing, and judiciously malicious, as with direct aforethought to stave in, utterly destroy, and sink a large ship.
Judiciously malicious, direct aforethought, not just instinct or accident. It implies conscious, intelligent malevolence, a deliberate act.
And what's genuinely fascinating, lending weight to this seemingly fantastic claim, is how Melville grounds it in real-world events familiar to his 19th century audience.
Like the Essex.
Exactly. He immediately details the real catastrophic fate of the whaling ship Essex in 1820. A Nantucket ship rammed and sunk by a massive whale in the Pacific, so devastating that not a surviving plank of her has been seen since.
The survivors endured unimaginable horrors, right? Adrift, cannibalism.
Horrific. Captain Pollard, the Essex's captain, shipwrecked twice, a series of misfortunes leading him to famously forswear the sea entirely.
This chilling historical fact, documented, lends immense credibility to the idea of whales deliberately destroying ships.
It profoundly validates viscerally the core of Ahab's obsession, makes it less a madman's delusion, more a response to a documented horrifying reality.
Shows the dangers weren't just nature, but maybe intelligent, even vengeful prey.
Precisely. The Town Ho story itself is this masterfully crafted narrative of escalating human conflict, set against this backdrop of primal danger and the looming whale threat.
Centering on the animosity between Steelkilt, the lakeman, and Radney, the cruel Nantucket mate.
Steelkilt, an inlander from Lake Erie, yet described as wild ocean born and wild ocean nurtured in spirit. Raw, untamed courage, a mariner's soul.
Contrasting sharply with Radney the Nantucketer, vengeful and full of social quarrel, temperament as rough and malicious as the sea.
Their personal antagonism boils over into a shipwide drama, ultimately, terrifyingly, intertwining with the whale's own malevolence.
After a brutal flogging, right? Radney flogs Steelkilt.
Unwarranted, cruel, ignites Steelkilt's desire for calculated revenge. He doesn't act in rage. He plans meticulously braiding a lanyard to small rope during his watches below.
A chilling symbol of premeditated vengeance, quiet, deliberate preparation.
And the climax of this embedded story is unforgettable. Demonstrates the whale's supposed malice with horrifying precision. Radney climbs onto the whale's back for the kill.
And gets spilled out.
Suddenly, inexplicably. And in that instant, the narrative says, the whale, with a peculiar motion of its tail, had jerked him into the air and so swallowed him down, alive and whole.
Wow. Not just an accident, the narrative emphasizes the whale's deliberate, almost surgical action.
Eliminating Radney, Steelkilt's tormentor. It's a chilling moment, confirming, through Ishmael's affidavit, the whale's capacity for targeted malice.
Making Ahab's quest, however mad, seem rooted in this terrifying, seemingly intelligent reality of whaling.
It transforms Moby Dick from a simple animal into a conscious force of retribution.
As we delve deeper into the whaleman's world, it's overwhelmingly clear their existence is constant, often unseen peril, far beyond just fighting a huge whale.
Absolutely.
What are the actual dangers beyond the harpoon? Let's start with the masthead. Romantically depicted sometimes, right? Solitary, poetic perch.
Ishmael quickly dispels that idyllic notion, calls it sadly destitute place, no comfort, where a sailor might spend several entire months on a long voyage just scanning the empty ocean.
Grueling, isolating, and deceptively dangerous.
And the true danger isn't just the elements or the height, but maybe more insidiously, the philosophical distraction it invites.
How so?
Ishmael confesses, revealing his own struggle. With the problem of the universe revolving in me, how could I but lightly hold my obligations? At that thought-engendering altitude, alone, with just the horizon and the rocking ship, your mind drifts. Cosmic questions.
And the irony is
that intellectual detachment leads to real physical danger. If you move your foot or hand an inch, slip your holes at all, and your identity comes back in horror.
contemplating the universe is at odds with spotting a whale.
Exactly. It's a place, the text notes with dark humor, that tragically furnishes an asylum for many romantic, melancholy, and absent-minded young men, disgusted with Earth's cares, seeking sentiment in tar and blubber.
Too lost in thought to be effective hunters, risking everyone's lives.
Pretty much. Then there's the whale line, the heart of the hunt, arguably the single most dangerous piece of equipment on board.
Not just a rope, though it's immensely strong, hundreds of fathoms long.
Described meticulously. A round, cheese-shaped mass of densely bedded sheaves, or layers of concentric spiralizations, meticulously coiled in its tub, coil upon coil, to prevent any tangles. Critical task.
Because the slightest mistake
Leads to the chilling reality. The least tangle or kink in the coiling would, in running out, infallibly take somebody's arm, leg, or entire body off.
infallibly.
When the harpoon hits and the whale bolts, the line flies out with incredible, unfathomable speed and force, often smoking from friction,
Being in the boat, then.
compared to being seated in the midst of the manifold whizzings of a steam engine in full play, with every flying part grazing you. But worse, the boat rocks, pitching you into the path of these deadly whipping coils.
Leads to one of the novel's most profound, universal, chilling reflections.
All men live enveloped in whale lines. All are born with halters round their necks. But it is only when caught in the swift, sudden turn of death that mortals realize the silent, subtle, ever-present perils of life.
That powerful analogy. It's not just about whaling, is it?
Not at all. It highlights a fundamental truth about human existence. Our daily lives, seemingly safe, mundane, are just as full of unseen, constant perils as that coiled, deadly whale line.
We just don't realize it until...
Until a swift, sudden turn of death, an accident, illness, crisis, reveals how truly enveloped we are by these ever-present, silent threats.
It's a call to profound awareness, isn't it? To see the danger that's always there, even hidden.
Definitely. That analogy truly is one of the most resonant insights from Moby Dick. It cuts through the adventure, forces us to confront our own fragility.
So if you're listening, this really hits home. Reminds us our daily lives, seemingly safe, are full of unseen perils, like that whale line. We walk in comfortable oblivion.
Until jolted into terrifying awareness, it's sobering, but maybe encourages deeper appreciation for every moment.
Yeah, well said. Despite this constant pervasive peril and the grim nature of their pursuit, whalers had their own unique social customs, strict unwritten rules.
Like any community, yeah.
One such custom, a moment of respite and connection in the lonely ocean, is the gam.
A formal social meeting between two whaling ships at sea, usually on a common cruising ground. Rare chance to share news, trade stories, break the isolation.
But the etiquette is peculiar, amusing.
Elaborate and rigid. When a gam is agreed, the two captains stay on one ship, their chief mates visit the other. But when a captain is rowed across...
He has to stand.
Yes. Unlike other naval captains with cushioned seats, the whaling captain is pulled off to his visit, all standing like a pine tree, described as all alive to the importance of sustaining his dignity by maintaining his legs.
While getting bumped by oars.
Constantly. The steering oar hits his back, the forward oar wraps his knees. A struggle for balance, composure, completely wedged before and behind, yet must appear buoyant, self-commanding.
Might even carry his hands in his pockets for ballast.
Exactly. And in a squall, it's known for a captain to seize hold of the nearest oarsman's hair and hold on there like grim death to avoid going overboard.
This rigid formality amidst a volatile sea speaks volumes about their pride, self-reliance, almost absurd dignity.
A testament to their individualistic spirit. Now contrast this open, formal, somewhat comical sociality
with the solemn, oppressive atmosphere of the Pequod's cabin table, especially with Ahab.
Ahab dines in awful silence. So profound it's chilling. Doesn't forbid conversation, just remains dumb himself. His brooding presence casts such a pall no one dares speak.
His mates, Starbuck, Stubb, flask bowled on deck, but at the table.
Eat as though receiving alms. Subdued, utterly deferential. Palpable tension, stifled life. Even a rat scurrying brings relief just by breaking the quiet.
Flask, the little king post, ambitious on deck, becomes a butterless man at the table.
Literally. Doesn't dare help himself to butter. Believes owners denied it, or it's too premium for a subaltern.
Stark contrast highlights Ahab's absolute tyrannical psychological dominance, strips them of individuality, authority, even appetite in his sphere.
A consuming presence. Adding another fascinating mystical layer is Ahab's secret weapon, Fedallah and his subordinate phantoms.
A clandestine crew edition.
This tiger yellow crew of unaccountable odds and ends of strange nations is hidden, rarely seen, emerging near whaling grounds. Fedallah himself is mysterious, oriental, almost supernatural aura.
Acts as Ahab's personal lookout even at night. Unnatural ability.
Seems like it. On one serene, moonlit night, waves like scrolls of silver, a silvery silence, ethereal beauty.
It's Fedallah who spots a whale's silvery jet far off.
Despite it being an unwanted hour, night lowering is dangerous. His cry, "There she blows," is so deliriously exciting, filled with manic energy the crew instinctively desires to chase.
Reveals Ahab's foresight in using such a figure, someone outside the crew's norms, and Fedallah's almost supernatural authority over their instincts.
With his turban and the moon as companions, it's potent. A mixture of rigid codes, hidden arcane elements, bursts of raw excitement, paints a vivid, complex, terrifying picture of life under Ahab's command.
Yeah, absolutely. Ahab's obsession isn't just blind rage or madness, it's paradoxically fueled by an almost scientific, meticulous method.
Right. It belies his apparent delirium. He's not just chasing a ghost, he's systematically tracking Moby Dick with chilling intellect.
Meticulously plots the drifting of the sperm whale's food, analyzes regular, ascertained seasons for hunting him in particular latitudes on the chart.
That grand map becomes not just geography, but a map of his monomania, filled with notations, predictions, almost mathematical precision in his madness.
A chilling demonstration of genius bent entirely to a destructive purpose.
But this meticulousness isn't sanity. It's the crucible of his profound inner torment. The text says Ahab's one supreme purpose, hunting the whale, has forced itself against gods and devils into a kind of self-assumed independent being of its own.
An entity, a malignant growth he willed into existence.
His intense thinking, his relentless focus, made him a Prometheus. Like the Titan stealing fire, Ahab gains forbidden knowledge, foresight, bends nature to his will.
But this act, creating his singular purpose,
Also created a vulture that feeds upon that heart forever, that vulture being horrifyingly the very creature he creates.
the tragic, terrifying irony. His obsession becomes self-inflicted torment, an internal parasite devouring him. The knowledge to hunt the whale ensures his own suffering and destruction.
A self-made hell.
And as this mad quest progresses, we get Starbuck's poignant internal soliloquy, anguish and clarity amidst the madness.
He feels utterly overmanned by a madman, tied by an ineffable thing, a compulsion he can't break, to a path he knows leads to an impious end.
Despite his pragmatism, duty, piety, he can't break free from Ahab's will.
Hates Ahab's purpose, but also pities him. Sees some lurid woe in his eyes, glimpses the captain's own deep suffering.
A faint hope, a prayer that God may wedge aside Ahab's purpose, intervene.
But ultimately, Starbuck feels his whole clock's run down.
Yeah.
A metaphor for his complete powerlessness to alter their shared tragic fate, quiet internal despair.
Contrasting sharply with Ahab's outward defiance and manic energy.
And this contrast between Starbuck's quiet anguish and other forces is amplified by the noise from below decks.
While Starbuck despairs, there's a burst of revelry from the forecastle.
The sound of the heathen crew, those isolados from diverse nations. Unlike Starbuck, they view the white whale not with moral dread, but as their demigorgon, a powerful, mystical, fate-dictating force.
Their boisterous, brawling energy, vividly depicted in midnight forecastle with arguments, fights, songs, wild dances,
Is a stark contrast to the captain's calculated madness or quiet despair. This juxtaposition highlights the radically different ways men confront the overwhelming forces of sea and fate.
Some, like Ahab, try to control it with furious will.
Others, like Starbuck, endure with resignation and moral struggle.
And still others, like the crew, embrace it with fatalistic revelry, finding release in chaos, physicality, raw emotion.
Beautifully, terrifyingly demonstrates humanity's varied, contradictory responses to the inscrutable, the beautiful, the terrifying aspects of existence.
So what does this all mean for us, this deep dive into Herman Melville's Moby Dick? It's taken us far beyond just an adventure tale or history lesson.
It really has.
It's been a profound journey, starting with Ishmael's restless search for meaning, driven by that inner, damp, drizzly November, compelling him to confront the sea and himself. We've witnessed profound bonds of unlikely friendship across cultural divides as Ishmael learns to see the universal human in Queequeg, challenging his prejudices.
A powerful lesson there.
And we've plunged into the dark, consuming heart of obsession with Captain Ahab, whose single-minded pursuit becomes his entire existence and ultimately his undoing.
We've seen how a single, unyielding purpose, like Ahab's, can paradoxically create both immense, terrifying power and inevitable self-destruction. Feeding that vulture within that devours the heart that created it.
Yeah.
And we've examined how profound truth can be revealed unexpectedly, not just in grand pronouncements, but even in the mundane, deadly perils of a coiled whale line.
That chilling analogy.
A constant reminder that all men live enveloped in whale lines, highlighting the silent, subtle, ever-present perils around us, often unnoticed until death's swift, sudden turn forces awareness.
Ultimately, this deep dive reveals how human nature confronts the inscrutable, the beautiful, the terrifying in the world, finding both profound connection and crushing isolation.
It's a timeless exploration of what drives us, binds us, consumes us, and what we might learn from chasing the ultimate unknown.
So what stands out to you from this journey into Moby Dick?
As you reflect on your own journey through life, maybe consider this. What are the unseen and unaccountable forces or ideas that subtly shape your path? How do you navigate the profound dualities of life, where purity can hide terror, where connection springs from unlikely places, and where your most ardent desires might, unawares, create an unforeseen vulture of their own, silently feeding upon your very heart?
Big questions.
The answers, like the whales in Melville's vast ocean, are out there waiting to be pursued, perhaps just beyond the next wave you choose to ride.
A powerful thought to end on. Thank you for that journey. And thank you all for joining us on Timeless Tales Podcast.
Subscribe to Timeless Tales Podcast. Your stories, your time.